My name's Max Denver, and I used to think I had a solid life. Not perfect, but solid. I worked full-time as a mechanic in northern Michigan. Long hours, busted knuckles, oil-stained jeans. But every night, I'd come home to my wife, Taylor, and our 11-year-old son, Oliver. That was all I needed. Or so I thought. Taylor was sunshine with teeth. Bright smile, quick wit, that kind of confidence that makes people turn their heads when she walks into a room. We met at a 4th of July cookout 12 years ago. She was barefoot, drinking beer straight from the bottle, arguing with someone about baseball stats. I was hooked before I even got her name. We got married fast. Too fast, maybe. But we made it work. A small house near Traverse City, a little backyard with patchy grass and a rusty swing set. We weren't fancy, but we were real. Then things started shifting. Subtle at first. Less laughter. More locked doors. Her phone was always face down. Late night errands that didn't quite add up. But I told myself she was just tired. We both were. Life grinds you down after a while. Oliver noticed it too. He'd ask why Mom was always gone, why she never stayed for movie night anymore. I had no answers, just tired excuses. She's busy, bud. Work's been rough. He nodded, but I saw the hurt creeping into his eyes. Then came the Thursday. I got off early, rare thing, and figured I'd surprise them. Grab some takeout, maybe fire up the grill. I even picked up Oliver's favorite cookies. I pulled into the driveway, and everything felt off. There was a strange car parked in front of the house. A black SUV with out-of-state plates. I walked up, groceries in hand. The door was unlocked. The living room looked like it had been rearranged, someone else's jacket on the armchair, shoes that weren't mine by the door. Voices from the kitchen. Her voice. And a man's. I stepped in, and everything stopped. Taylor was standing there with this guy, tall, muscular, with that fake polite smile people use when they know they don't belong but don't care. Her eyes met mine and didn't even flinch. "Max," she said, like I was a guest in my own damn house. "This is Ben. He and his kids are gonna be staying with us. Just for a while." I blinked. Like maybe I hadn't heard right. "Come again." She sighed, annoyed. "I didn't want to do this like this. But I'm tired of pretending. Ben's important to me." I looked past her. 2 boys stood awkwardly behind him, probably around 8 and 10, holding backpacks like they just moved in. Because they had. My brain short-circuited. "Where's Oliver?" I asked, already knowing he was at school. "We'll tell him later," she said, brushing past me like I was some random neighbor. My fists clenched. My heart. It cracked, not because she cheated. I didn't even know that for sure yet. It cracked because she looked so damn calm about it. I followed her into the living room, dumbfounded, watching this dude plop down on my couch like he'd paid for it. His kids started digging into snacks from the pantry, my son's snacks. "I need you to be cool about this," Taylor said, not even making eye contact. "Cool?" I laughed, but it came out broken. "You bring some dude into our home, let his kids raid our kitchen, and I'm supposed to be cool." She finally looked at me. "It's temporary." "Yeah. So was our mortgage, but I still pay that." She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic." And that was the moment I realized I wasn't her husband anymore. I was just, in the way. After the shock wore off, if it ever really did, I went outside to breathe. I stood on the porch staring at the grass I mowed every Sunday like it would explain any of this. My hands were shaking. My chest felt hollow. Ben. His name was Ben. That smug bastard with perfect teeth and zero shame. He didn't just stroll into my house, he replaced me. He wore my space like a goddamn jacket. And Taylor? She didn't even apologize. Didn't explain. It was like she'd mentally erased the last decade and just uploaded some alternate version of reality where I didn't exist. I stayed out there for a while. Long enough for the sun to dip lower, for the ache in my jaw to remind me I'd been grinding my teeth. Eventually I walked back in, because what else was I gonna do, sleep on the porch? Ben was still lounging in my living room. His boys had taken over Oliver's game console, their feet up on the coffee table, greasy chip bags scattered everywhere. Taylor sat on the armrest next to him like they were auditioning for a family sitcom. The worst part? She looked relieved. I said nothing. Just walked past them and shut myself in the garage. I sat there, surrounded by old tools, car parts, the smell of oil and rust and my own confusion. I must have sat there for an hour before Oliver got home. I heard the front door creak, the sound of his sneakers scuffing the floor. Then his voice. Mom. I opened the door just a crack. Watched. Oliver froze when he saw the strangers in the living room. His eyes darted from the kids to Ben to Taylor. Who are they? Taylor stood and walked over, crouching to his level with that fake sweet voice she used when she knew she'd screwed up. Sweetie, this is Ben. And those are his sons, Carter and Eli. They're going to be staying with us for a little while. Oliver blinked. Why? Taylor hesitated, just a beat. Because Ben and we're together now. Boom. There it was. No pretense. No warming him up to it. Just dropped the bomb like it was bedtime news. Oliver looked at me. I stepped out of the garage. Our eyes met. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He just looked, wrecked. Then he did something I'll never forget. He turned to her and said, dead serious, you told me Dad was your best friend. Taylor flinched. Ben stood, probably to try and smooth things over, but Oliver backed away. He grabbed his sketchbook from the side table and walked straight to his room. Didn't say another word. That night, the silence in the house was suffocating. I didn't eat. Neither did Oliver. Taylor cooked dinner like it was a normal Thursday, humming to herself, setting 5 plates at the table. Ben sat at my spot. My damn spot. Left side, closest to the window. Where I'd sat every night for 11 years. I watched from the hallway as he passed the mashed potatoes like this was just another Tuesday night in suburbia. I wanted to throw something. My toolbox. A chair. Him. But instead, I went to Oliver's room. He was drawing. Same way he always did when things got too loud in his head. Can I come in? I asked. He nodded but didn't look up. I sat on the floor beside his bed. For a while, we didn't say anything. Just existed. Then he whispered, is she serious? I swallowed. Yeah. I think she is. He looked at me. Do I have to be nice to them? I shook my head. You don't have to do anything you're not ready for. He went quiet again. Then, I heard her say stuff. A while ago. On the phone. What kind of stuff? She said she couldn't breathe here. That she felt stuck. That Ben makes her feel seen. He made air quotes with his fingers. That burned more than it should have. I was the one who'd built that house. Paid the bills. Held her hair when she was sick. Sat through every boring school play and sleepless night when Oliver had a fever. But some guy in a designer jacket saw her. We sat in that silence, the two of us, my son and me, father and child trying to hold the center while everything cracked around us. Later that night, I found Taylor in the kitchen. You think I'm just gonna roll over and let this happen? I asked. She didn't turn around. I think you need to grow up, Max. Grow up. Yeah. Things change. People change. I've changed. No, Taylor. You didn't change. You just stopped trying. She finally looked at me. I tried. For years. But you stopped seeing me. I was just your routine. You think this guy, this tourist-looking Ken doll, is real? That this, whatever this is, will last? She crossed her arms. It's better than pretending. I shook my head. You didn't just cheat on me. You cheated on Oliver. On everything we built. She didn't respond. And that's when I knew, this wasn't temporary. Ben had unpacked his things. But Taylor? She'd been gone a long time. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I couldn't. But because I wouldn't. Because somewhere in the room next door, my son was lying awake, eyes wide, trying to process the fact that the woman who made his school lunches had just torn our family in half. And downstairs, some stranger was asleep in my bed. The one I bought. The one I built with my own hands when we couldn't afford a frame. Around 2 a.m., I started digging. Not literally, not yet. Digitally. I remembered the way Taylor had snapped her phone shut every time I walked into a room. The texts she'd typed with her screen tilted away. So I checked our shared tablet. She'd forgotten to sign out of her iCloud. And there it was. Message after message. Miss you already, face blowing a kiss. Can't wait till it's just us. I hate sleeping next to him, it makes my skin crawl. That one broke something in me. You ever read a message not meant for you and feel like someone set fire to your lungs? That's what it felt like. I didn't screenshot them. I saved the whole damn chat log. Forwarded everything to a secure folder. She'd think I was the idiot. But I was documenting. The next morning, Taylor acted like nothing happened. She was in the kitchen flipping pancakes for Ben's kids like some Stepford wife. Oliver came down, said nothing, walked past her like she didn't exist. Ben tried to bond. Offered him orange juice. Oliver stared straight through him. I was proud. And scared. Taylor pulled me aside later, whispering, "Why is he being like this?" "Gee, I don't know, maybe because you torched his home life and replaced his dad with a guy who uses hair gel before breakfast." Her eyes narrowed. "You're turning him against me." I laughed. A bitter, deadpan kind of laugh. "You did that all on your own." That weekend, Ben and Taylor took the boys to the zoo. Oliver and I stayed home. We played catch in the backyard. At one point, he asked, "Is Mom coming back?" I didn't lie. Not the way we remember her. He nodded like he already knew. Sunday night, I heard Oliver on the phone with his best friend, whispering. "I don't think she loves us anymore." Not him. Us. That was the moment I decided this wasn't going to end with quiet suffering. I called my sister, Jamie. She's a paralegal in Detroit. Knows more about custody law than most rookie attorneys. I told her everything. Every ugly detail. She didn't say, "I'm sorry," or "I can't believe it." She said, "Do you have evidence?" "Yes." "Good. You'll need it." Within 48 hours, I had a lawyer, not one of those discount billboard guys, but someone sharp. Her name was Diane Holbrook, and she had a voice like cold steel. "I don't care how likable your wife is," she said during our first meeting. "If she moved another man and his children into your home without your consent, and you have proof she emotionally destabilized your son, we can work with that." I handed her the folder, text messages, photos, time-stamped evidence of hotel stays, even a photo Ben had stupidly posted online of the two of them, captioned, "Home is where she is, Blackheart. Not his home. My home." Diane raised her eyebrows. "They always post the stupidest stuff." Then she looked me in the eye and asked, "Do you want full custody?" I didn't hesitate. I want him safe. That week, things escalated. Taylor noticed I wasn't reacting anymore. I wasn't arguing, yelling, begging. I was calm. Too calm. She confronted me. You think you're gonna take him from me? I'm not taking anything. I'm protecting what you left behind. She lost it. Threw a coffee mug. Screamed. Ben had to pull her outside to cool down. I stayed inside and helped Oliver with his science project. That night, I found a note under my pillow. In my son's handwriting. Thank you for staying. I sat in the dark, holding that paper like it was made of gold. Because to me, it was. Everything I had left in this world was holding a pencil and spelling photosynthesis with a backwards S. The manipulation started small. Taylor knew she'd crossed a line, and when I didn't lose my mind like she expected, she panicked. Not outwardly. No, she was too polished for that. But she started working angles, spinning her new narrative to anyone who'd listen. Suddenly, I wasn't the guy she cheated on, I was the controlling ex who wouldn't let her move on. She called Oliver's school. Left a message with the guidance counselor. Said she was worried about his emotional development. Claimed I was making it difficult for her to connect with him. That she feared I was turning him against her. When I picked Oliver up that afternoon, his teacher looked at me differently. Not rude. Just hesitant. That night, I asked him straight. Has your mom talked to anyone at school? He nodded. She came at lunch. Wanted to take me out for ice cream. And? I said no. Why? He shrugged. Didn't feel like it. But his sketchbook told the truth. A new drawing, a woman with wide eyes and sharp teeth, hiding behind a mask that said, Mom. I emailed the school counselor that night. Professional. Respectful. But clear. My ex-wife has recently brought a new partner and his children into our home without consent. Our son is navigating emotional stress, and any communication involving his mental well-being should include me directly. I am currently pursuing legal custody and will provide appropriate documentation soon. No reply. The next day, Taylor called me 4 times in 2 hours. Left voicemails that swung between pleading and hostile. Max, this is ridiculous, let me see my son, he's my son too. You're making a mountain out of nothing. You'll regret doing this to me. You always do. I blocked her. She started emailing instead. Messaging mutual friends. Posting on social media. Cryptic captions under selfies with Ben like, let them judge. I'm finally free. Or, being a mother doesn't mean being a martyr. The comments were worse. People we both knew from PTA meetings or block parties chiming in like they knew the full story. You deserve happiness, girl. Don't let him guilt you. It stung. But not because of them. Because I knew Oliver would see it eventually. He had access to the internet. He wasn't stupid. He came to me one night, holding his tablet. Why is Mom calling you abusive? I froze. She posted that. He nodded. With a picture. Of you. What did it say? That you're manipulating me. That she's trying to fix our family and you won't let her. I sat down. Took a breath. Do you feel manipulated? I asked. He looked at me like I was insane. No. Do you feel safe here? Of course. That was enough. But it still hurt. Because one day he'd grow up and wonder how this all happened. And I wanted to be able to tell him, I fought. For you. For the truth. We were 2 weeks out from the custody hearing, and Diane, my lawyer, was building a monster of a case. She had timelines, messages, photos. She even found a private investigator who'd followed Ben to a bar where he was seen with another woman, already cheating on Taylor. We hadn't told her yet. We were saving that for court. One afternoon, Diane looked at me and said, "You need to prepare for her final move." "What's that?" "She's going to try and make you snap. She'll poke every nerve. Try to get a reaction she can use against you. Stay cool. Let her drown in her own narrative." And damn if Diane wasn't a prophet. Because the very next day, Taylor showed up at the house again, unannounced. No heels this time. No drama. She wore jeans, sneakers, a hoodie. Her hair was tied back like the Taylor I met at that cookout 12 years ago. "I want to talk," she said, standing on the porch. I didn't open the door. I stepped out, pulled it shut behind me. "Talk about what?" Her eyes welled up. "I miss him." "You had him. You picked someone else." "I made a mistake." "No," I said. "You made a choice." She shifted her tone fast, like flipping a switch. "Ben's not who I thought he was," she said. "He's been distant. And the boys don't like me." I didn't say a word. I just stared. "I thought I needed something new," she continued. "I didn't realize what I was giving up." "You didn't give it up," I said. "You burned it to the ground." She paused. Then went for the kill shot. "He needs a mother, Max, don't take that from him." I leaned closer, voice low. "You stopped being his mother the moment you called him a roadblock in a text to your boyfriend." Her face changed. Pale. Tight. She knew I knew. "I saw it," I said. "Everything. Every message. Every photo. Every lie." She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She turned and walked back to her car. Inside, Oliver had been watching from the window. "Was she crying?" he asked. "No." He nodded. That night, he showed me a new page in his sketchbook. A courtroom. 3 people, a boy in the middle, a woman crying on one side, and a man standing still on the other. The boy had no face. Just a question mark. "What does it mean?" I asked. He shrugged. "I don't know where I belong." That broke me in a way I didn't see coming. Not because it was sad. But because it was honest. It wasn't about winning. It was about giving him something stable to hold on to in a world that kept changing without his permission. So I went to work. We gathered everything. Printed it. Organized it. Diane coached me on testimony. Tone. Pacing. Control. "You don't win by being louder," she said. "You win by being consistent." Oliver stayed with Jamie the night before court. He hugged me tight and whispered, "Whatever happens, I want to live here. Not with her." I promised I'd try. And I meant it with everything in me. Courtrooms smell like old paper and panic. I sat there in a too-tight tie, palms sweating, watching Taylor across the aisle. She wore a gray dress, hair slicked back, minimal makeup, going for the grieving mother look. But grief don't sit like that. Real grief doesn't cross her legs and smirk at the judge. Oliver was home with Jamie. We agreed, he didn't need to witness this. His job was just to be a kid again. Mine was to win the war she started. The bailiff called the case. The judge, an older woman with a face like stone and eyes like X-rays, shuffled through our files. Taylor's lawyer went first. Real slick type. Nice suit, expensive watch, voice like he practiced in a mirror. "Ms. Whitman," he said, "yeah, she dropped my last name already, has been portrayed unfairly. She is a loving mother who made difficult choices under emotional stress. Mr. Denver, that's me, has created a hostile environment and emotionally distanced their son from her." Taylor dabbed at her eyes with a tissue she didn't need. The judge didn't blink. Then came Diane. She stood like a sniper in heels. "Your Honor," she said. "My client is not here to ruin Ms. Whitman's life. He's here to protect his son from a person who turned their home into a revolving door for deception." She handed over the evidence folder. Texts. Photos. DMs, receipts. Ms. Whitman referred to her son as a roadblock in private messages to her new partner, Mr. Bennett, Diane said. She moved that partner and his children into the marital home, unannounced. She introduced them to her son without preparation. She erased the child's sense of safety. Then came the audio. Diane pressed play on a recording from the PI, Ryan Bennett, at a bar, saying, "Taylor. She's easy. I upgraded. That house. That kid. None of it matters." The courtroom went dead silent. Taylor's face twisted. She turned to her lawyer in panic. Diane wasn't done. She called Ms. Temple, Oliver's teacher. The woman stepped up, calm but firm. "Oliver is quiet, respectful. But when his mother began showing up unannounced, he became anxious. He once told me, 'I don't want to be near her. She scares me.'" Taylor's lawyer objected, "Hearsay." The judge waved him off. "I'm listening." Then Diane laid out the final piece. A printed version of Taylor's social media post, where she wrote, "When your kid loves your ex more than he loves truth, all you can do is pray." The judge set the paper down like it was radioactive. She looked at Taylor. "Would you like to speak?" Taylor stood. Voice trembling. Hands wringing a tissue. "I messed up," she said. "I fell out of love. I wanted something different. But I never stopped loving my son. I was lost." The judge nodded slowly. Then she turned to me. "Mr. Denver, do you have anything to add?" I stood. My hands were shaking, but I locked eyes with her. "I'm not perfect," I said. "But I've been there for my son. Every night. Every school play. Every flu. Every nightmare. I didn't trade him for a fling. I stayed." The judge wrote something. Then she said the words I'll never forget. "Full legal custody is granted to Mr. Denver. Ms. Whitman may have supervised visitation pending psychological evaluation and proof of sustained emotional stability." Taylor gasped. Her lawyer put a hand on her shoulder. She swatted it off. I didn't smile. I didn't pump a fist. I just sat down. Exhausted. Numb. It was over. At least the courtroom part. But Taylor didn't fade quietly. Over the next week, she called. Left voicemails like verbal landmines. "You turned him against me. I hope you're happy in your little victory. You always wanted me to fail." I blocked her again. One night, a letter came. No stamp. Just left in our mailbox. Inside, a photo. Me, Taylor, and Oliver at the beach, back when things looked real. On the back, in her handwriting. "Remember when we were us?" I threw it in the fire. That weekend, Oliver came home from Jamie's with a big smile. "Guess what?" he said, holding up his sketchbook. Inside was a drawing, him and me, on a mountain. She was nowhere in sight. "What's this?" "It's us," he said. Moving on. Simple. Solid. Unmistakable. We grilled burgers that night. Played Mario Kart. He beat me twice. Laughed until he couldn't breathe. And in that laugh, I heard something I hadn't in months: peace. Taylor's story might keep spinning. But ours? Ours was finally back in our hands.